Scientists have found that there was an asteroid horror, a destruction that took place. Egypt was struck by a killer asteroid, a space rock, that scientists say was or is the master key to life on Mars and other planets. This by Gershom Hans on Express UK is concerning what space rock impacts could bring to other planets. They theorize that water on Earth has been brought from such space rocks, particularly comets. They're supposed to be icy objects from the Kuiper Belt, but they say even asteroids could be icy, and they don't know exactly what makes up asteroids, but they will be having a mission soon enough to find out what the Didymos moonlet will be made of. Now, asteroids actually, many asteroids struck Egypt, and one of them was about 5,000 years ago, 3000 BC, recently found. By images from Google Earth, scientists were looking for asteroid impact sites, and they found them. In 2004, one was found in southwest of Egypt, another one was found in 2014 in Iraq, but the one in Egypt was said to be so strong that it boiled the atmosphere over the area, and of course set off earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. And when we got onto Google Earth, you could see on the southwest, right at the corner of the border of the Egyptian borders, you have a volcanic field, and a lot of those lavas are pristine and clean as if they were made yesterday. But the geologists predicted, well, actually they studied and they saw that it could have had a very bad effect on the Pharaohic kingdoms. There was strife, there was famine. The area that was lush turned into a desert. There was a total geologic change in the area. And that was from that impact, 3,000 years BC. And this one here is a new one, the asteroid that struck Egypt about 1911. The scientists believe that they could now reveal the master key to whether there is life on Mars. It was a killer impact. It struck Africa in 1911. 2 meteorites hit the land there, so it was double. They usually do come together, they say. Asteroids are they come in binary or in sets. This is what we just read recently concerning the NASA Didymos asteroid. They don't usually come alone. Now, the Nakhla meteorites are called Nakhla, Nakhlite, Nakhla meteorites, have evidence of water on Mars from millions of years ago. This was reported by Inverse. Scientists were able to prove an asteroid impact had melted parts of the layer of ice beneath the surface of Mars from asteroid impacts. Luke Daly of the University of Glasgow in Scotland explained, the study shows quite handily that you can generate pockets of liquid water through asteroid impacts on the red planet, Mars that is. And he says this means you could get short or long-lived reservoirs of liquid water all over the planet throughout the history of Mars. And as we know, NASA is supposed to be visiting Mars next year. Scientists looked at evidence of water on the planet to see if the planet could have hosted life or can still host life. Of course, we're talking about the Mars colonies that they want to set up there. And evidence suggests ancient lakes may exist on the Mars surface. Daly wanted to explore if the rocks were lava flows and are sills, a layer that separates the sedimentary rock from volcanic lava. He explains that it turns out answering that is much harder than I thought it had to be, that it had a right to be, but along the way we got this result, which is way cooler. The team have been able to roughly pinpoint where on Mars the asteroids, which became meteorites, came from. He says, so we're looking for an area on the surface of Mars that's around 1.5 billion years old, and it has two craters next to each other. One that is 633 million years old, and the other that is 11 million years old. Daly said, finding the exact point of origin is like finding the master key for unlocking Mars' secrets. And we know that Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun in our solar system. NASA has recently had 15 scientists and engineers sent them to Iceland for 3 weeks in preparation. The mission went to Lamba Raun, the lava field at the foot of the Langkodjul Glacier. The landscape was considered a good, suitable area for the looking like the surface of Mars. Adam Delorier of Canadian Mission Control Space Service said it's a very good analog for Mars exploration, learning how to drive Mars rovers. So they're using that area to practice on their rovers. The rovers that we have on Mars and the Moon would be a lot more sensitive to the environment and conditions of Iceland. Ryan Ewing is from Texas A&M University. He says the mineralogy in Iceland is very similar to what we would find on Mars. In addition to that, he explains we don't have much vegetation. It's cold, and we have some of the environments like sand dunes and rivers and glaciers that Mars has evidence of in the past. Mission Control wants to return to Iceland before the mission is launched next year, for more practice, of course. Now, in 1911, Egypt was a de facto protectorate of the British Empire. It was legally part of the Ottoman Empire, but occupied by Britain from 1882. The meteorites hit near the village of El Nakhla, El Bahariya, given their name of Nakhla meteorites. They hit Earth in one piece, but they fragmented into two on impact. Now, this is a piece of that Nakhla meteorite. This is found in the American Museum of Natural History in New York City, a specimen of it. It's Egypt's first meteorite, from what they say. I doubt it, but anyway. They say it was June 28th, 1911, and it was believed that it hit a dog. That there was a smoke and a type of a cloud over the area as it was coming in, and it broke into 40 pieces. Anyway, this is on Earth Sky. I'll leave a link below for you, having to do with the small village of El Nakhla El Bahariya in Egypt. 9 a.m. local time. Villagers heard explosions coming from far away. Obviously, it was entering the earth, and obviously it was breaking up as well. So thank goodness it did break up, otherwise you could imagine how big it would have been. They later reported a white trail of smoke approaching from them from the northeast. About 40 pieces of rock rained down from the sky. Oh, and by the way, this is very, very interesting. I had a comment, and I thank my viewer for that. The rain, God's rain and hail, in actuality are space rocks falling on Earth. So when you read in the Holy Bible, God's rain and hail, that's actually celestial bodies impacting the Earth. All right, so it's comets, asteroids, meteors, and things like that. So I thank him for that. So, okay, they rained down 40 pieces of rock from the sky. Total weight later determined to be about 10 kilograms, 22 pounds of stone. The legend claims that one of those also struck a dog, which vaporized instantly. It was the first meteorite in Egyptian records. Can you imagine the heat of it if it vaporized the dog instantly? 7 decades later, scientists found out that the Nakhla meteorite was no ordinary space rock. Instead, it came from Mars. Meteorites are places where geology and astronomy meet. Rocks from space. Many enter our atmosphere every year. Some 37,000 to 78,000 tons of space debris enter our atmosphere every year. by some estimates. And they make bright streaks in the sky, as we know, as meteors or shooting stars. They are mostly dust-sized particles, but some are large enough, or small rocky or metallic chunks. Oh, by the way, yeah, we had one a few days ago that was spotted a few hours before it was to pass Earth, and the astronomers said it will not impact us, it's far away, it's beyond the moon. And what happened is it fell and it struck over the Caribbean. That same asteroid struck over the Caribbean, and you'll see that in yesterday's videos. So they're telling us, no, it won't pass us, it's beyond the moon. But what happens is the sunlight on it makes it turn. It makes it shift from its trajectory, and it can come in pounding on Earth, impacting Earth, because it does not go in a straight line. And it starts twirling and turning, twisting, because it's the material on it is superheated by the sun's rays, causing it to, and they evaporate, they expand. It makes the material of the asteroid, the celestial body, change because of the one side being heated by the sun, is making it twirl. So it's not steady in its trajectory. And that's why that specific asteroid impacted us over the Caribbean. That's known as the Yarovsky effect. I can't remember, something like that. Yar something. Anyway, it was found in the year 1900 by a Russian scientist astronomer who said that that's what happens to celestial bodies. And that's exactly what the astronomers explained happened to this particular asteroid that did hit us in the Caribbean, even though it was not supposed to. And that was small, thank goodness. So this one came in, the meteor's name changes to meteorite when it manages to hit the ground, in spite of Earth's protective blanket of air. It's surprising that there are only 188 known meteorite craters on Earth as of 2016, but one of them has its own fascinating story. The Nakhla meteorite's origin to Mars is attributed to Mars. Scientists first had to analyze it, of course. They began by dating the meteorite, and Nakhla was found to be 1.3 billion years old, much younger than our solar system at about 4.5 billion years old. Okay, so this eliminates the possibility that Nakhla was formed at the same time as the solar system. Geologists performed other tests on it to reveal the origin. They use a process of elimination. To rule out Earth, they tested the composition of the density of the meteorite. The iron meteorites always contain at least 4% nickel. Meteorites also have a density higher than average of Earth's rocks. One of the most revealing is to cut a slab of the meteorite, bathe it in acid, and if a special pattern called the Windmansstatten pattern appears, the rock is then definitely a meteorite, because such iron-nickel crystals never form on Earth. So this Nakhla meteorite was shown not to be from Earth, but Earth's nearby moon was another possible place. But scientists realized that the Nakhla was formed by the cooling of magma. It's what's called igneous rock. The body of origin must have been volcanic, with volcanic activity taking place 1.3 billion years ago. It's thought that no volcanic activity occurred on the moon for about 3 billion years, so the moon was ruled out as a possible place of origin of the Nakhla meteorite. And also NASA's mission to the moon returned samples from the lunar surface. Comparing those moon rocks with Nakhla meteorite confirmed Nakhla is not from the moon. Nakhla's age turned out to be key in pinpointing the origin. It was too young to have come from an asteroid, where volcanic activity is thought to have ceased shortly after the formation of our solar system. Venus, with its relatively recent volcanic activity, was another possibility, but relatively strong gravity of Venus and its thick atmosphere both make it very unlikely meteorites would have been ejected during a volcanic eruption. Can you imagine a volcanic eruption ejecting material that would fly out into space and even reach Earth? So that left Mars as the most likely place of origin for the Nakhla meteorite. The gravity of Mars is weaker than that of Venus or Earth, and thus the volcanic ejection scenario is possible. There's also evidence that Olympus Mons, the largest volcano known in our solar system, was active when the Nakhla meteorite was formed. Was the Nakhla meteorite ejected from Olympus Mons of Mars during a volcanic eruption, hurled into space, and then found its way to our Earth? Well, it seems possible in this case, according to the scientists. So the takeaway from this is today is the 105th anniversary of the Nakhla meteorite, the first meteorite in the Egyptian record. Many years after the event, scientists concluded through various tests that it came all the way from Mars. Amazing. I'll leave links below for you for this. This was from Earth Sky and posted by Daniela Brightman in Earth and Space. This was back in 2016. Amazing. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.